Hi Guy the Third. Gaming. Fandoms. Whatever the heck I want. And YouTube symbol. Arceus is generally regarded as the god of the Pokemon world. But when Arceus was released, I was kind of confused. Wasn't Mew supposed to be the god of the Pokemon world? And I learned recently, through some videos, that people at one point thought that Rayquaza was the god of the Pokemon world, and that some people thought Ho-Oh was the god of the Pokemon world. So, that got me thinking, who is the god of the Pokemon world? So, I did some research, because it was kind of interesting, like, I wonder. And my findings are very interesting, so I figured I'd make a theory video. Obviously, I wasn't going to research all 720 Pokemon, so I decided that I was only going to do this crazy research and deduction on a couple of Pokemon. The Pokemon that are actually candidates. See the background picture? See? It's amazing. So, the candidates for gods of the Pokemon world. These Pokemon are Mew, Arceus, Ho-Oh, Xerneas, and of course Rayquaza. I know I didn't mention Xerneas before, and I haven't really heard much about people thinking of Xerneas as a god of the Pokemon world, but I will at least sort of consider it, due to the fact that it has godlike powers such as granting immortality and the power of creation. I'm going to get Xerneas out of the way first because it was the easiest to get out of the way. Basically, they'll just have some godlike powers. Everything in its Pokedex entries is basically along the lines of like, oh, it could maybe give you immortality. So, you know. But it did power a device in X version that sort of allows Mega Evolution now. So, though it is a very powerful Pokemon, it isn't the God Pokemon. Next is Rayquaza. Now, this is a little tricky because its Mega Form is the most powerful Pokemon as of this day. However, that will come in later, so be patient. But other than that, its Pokedex entries are basically like what it eats, that it stays in the sky, and that it's a really powerful Pokemon. And that doesn't, from just that, it doesn't really seem like much of a god Pokemon. I mean, it does reside in the sky, but not really much along the lines of God. Okay, so it gets a little trickier when we get over to Ho-Oh. So, its Pokedex entries also just say, like, myths say and all of that, but we see Entei, Raikou, and Suicune, which pretty much proves that Ho-Oh actually does have this power. But what actually takes away Ho-Oh here is the fact that it's part of a duo. At first it seems a little petty to take it out because of this, but think about it. It is paired with Lugia, almost as a sort of equal. Whereas, well, you really wouldn't want that to be a candidate for the god of the Pokemon world, right? I mean, sure, it's powerful, granting wishes and all that, but honestly, it's just one of two. And that's the reason I'm taking Ho-Oh out of the race. But I will explain later how the rest of Ho-Oh's stuff plays out. But for now, let's move on to comparing the last two candidates, Arceus and Mew. Now it's time to compare Arceus and Mew. And of course, the remaining fragments of Ho-Oh and Rayquaza. Or Rayquaza, however you feel like pronouncing that. But anyways, if we look here, what is the difference between Arceus and Mew? Obviously, a lot of people will probably point, Arceus must be it, because Arceus is so much more powerful. But what I'm thinking here, like, follow my train of logic. If a human who's 10 years old can catch any of these Pokemon, how can any of them be gods? But of course, one of them has to be. So, if we look at how they behave, under the training of this kid, maybe we can figure out more. So let's check this out. Arceus is super powerful when wielded by a human. Mew just sort of manipulates itself with transform and stuff to be other Pokemon. And if a Pokemon is supposed to be a god, is it really going to follow the orders of a 10-year-old, even if it's been captured? Or at least try not to use all of its power? Seems like that would make sense. So that is why Mew must be the god of the Pokemon world, right? Because Arceus shouldn't use all of its power when wielded by this 10-year-old, while Mew doesn't. Which means Mew has to be it. Which is also playing into why Rayquaza can't be it. Because remember, the reason it's so powerful right now is because of its ultimate friendship form. And honestly, it relies on a human to reach its highest power. That's kinda lame, honestly. Not lame as in, like, using Rayquaza or Mega Evolution in general, just, like, as a candidate to be a god of the Pokemon world. So I sort of rest my case. But the problem here is, can I really? I mean, I've drawn logical conclusions why all these other candidates can't be it, but then again, there's still possibilities you can go around all of that. Maybe Arceus just feels like going to a 10-year-old's whims. Maybe to it really is going weak on everything, and it's just so much more powerful. So then I did a little more research. So apparently, in Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, there were references to the internet fake culty Pokemon thing with the Helix fossil. There were references to the existence of religions in the Pokemon world. I mean, after all, there was a church in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. So really, that's my conclusion. My belief is that it's Mew, but there is a such thing as religion in the Pokemon world. Some candidates seem more likely to one person than the other. One person might say, oh, Helix fossil. Another person says, Mew, according to the scientists who are the people who know the most, is the genetic ancestor, so it must be the one who created everything. It's all down to Pokemon religions. But of course, if you just want to follow logic, it's gotta be Mew. But still, had to leave a little stuff so people don't rage at me in the comments. Please don't, though I do support logical debate and illogical debate as long as it's polite. But the point here is that this video is done, and probably a minor channel update after this. Alright, I'm super sorry about, 3 weeks without a new video, but it's a combination of a bunch of things. First, computer, new, all of that. So, I wanted to know how I was going to integrate that, so I needed a bunch of time to think about that. And I also animated an intro. There's been a ton of competitive stuff going on at school, like debate and science Olympiad, which I'm going in for programming, is the end of this week, which is spring break for me. So, yeah. Just a lot of stuff. Also, Homestuck has been taking over my life, like the third longest publication on the internet, I heard, or something like that. So, yeah. But don't worry, almost done with Homestuck, supposedly. Animated the intro already, figured out what I want to do with my uploading schedule and all that. So, everything should go back to normal ASAP. I'll probably talk about it more extensively later. Bye.